Hello, my Teaserking families. I keep struggling with the sound. Sometimes it's not coming on. So I turn off my computer and turn it back on, and that seems to help it. Anyway, well, as bad as Monday was, is as good as today is. So Monday, I didn't think I had my job, and I thought it was all gone. And they said, no, there's two jobs, and you're still up for one. Okay, but it's still taking forever. Today, I got a meeting with DT Energy, the utility, for a long-term contract job. Still trying to get the rate. But the interview is tomorrow morning at 9, so I'm excited, at least another interview. But I've had several that just, I can't get hired. I don't know. I try to do exactly what I've been doing for my whole life, getting hired and over and over. So I will try to just stay calm. I don't know, because it's younger kids. I don't know what they're looking for. But I just say, hey, 4 years of Mercedes, GM and Ford, what the fuck else do you want to know? So we'll see. Anyway, that's at 9. Went to Social Security today. I was a little worried. So here's the kicker. If you make too much money and they're giving you Social Security and you're not Social Security, even though you're Social Security age, you're not retirement age, which is now like 67, I guess, or 66. They're not telling you. No, it's like 67. So as they keep defaulting on their Social Security. So when I first got it like a year ago, it was, oh no, you can make, if you make too much, you just pay tax on it. Turned into, no, you can't make it. Yeah, we know it's your Social Security, but we can't. You can't. If you do make it, you got to pay us back. So I thought, oh shit, I'll stop getting Social Security till I pay it back. And they said, no, just we'll take 10% of your check until it gets paid back. And I'm like, oh, and I'll still get check. Yeah. Oh, okay, fine. Who cares then? It says they'd like you to pay it back, but you don't have to. You'll still get it, and we'll take 10% off. I go, fine. So that's the first. That's number one. Number two, my mom's trust. I thought it was okay. It's gonna. There's 20,000 left. Divide by 4. I get $5,000. No. So I said that to the attorney. So I guess I get about $5,000. She said, no, that's the estate overflow that goes into the trust. The trust is much higher, and there's 8 people in the trust, which I can't figure out. Stuff like had 3 kids. I got a brother and sister. That's 6. Who's the other 2 people? And so they will get. So we divide by 8, but there should be 2 life insurances and a sold house and a sold business in this trust. So it should be a lot higher than I'm thinking than the 5,000. So I will let you know once I know. But it's I don't know why the attorney can't say, well, it's $400,000 divided by 8, you'll get $50,000 approximately. I'm saying just give me a ballpark. And she won't do it. She says, well, we'll probably, settle it in like October, late fall. Okay, that's October, November. So winter's really December, Jan, Feb, or something like that. The third quarter we're in it now. It's Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September is the third quarter, but not necessarily fall. It's still summer. So job interview tomorrow. Looks like Social Security. I don't owe the $10,000 now. I owe it. They'll just take 10%. He says you don't have to do anything. I'll just take 10% off. I go, oh, perfect. And then we got to deal with Daria again. The game playing. I was watching something on YouTube from Elsa Jane, who does this little thing. And she's saying, oh, it's not good, this, whatever the story, but it's not good that the guy's ghosting the girl or the other way around. In other words, you text and they don't respond. That's called ghosting, I guess. And she's like, oh no, just you can't, don't forget. Well, kind of that's what Daria is doing. And then she comes up with an excuse, you know, oh, I was sick, or the phone, or, whatever. My daughter needed the phone, or 10,001 excuses. And it's been another 6 days, and I'm tired of playing the game. It's like, go pay your own rent, go buy your own food. I'm not the guy you play games with. I mean, either if you do want me and love me, you should be texting me all the time. You shouldn't be fucking around with me. And then coming up with these excuses. Last time it was I had high blood pressure and I slept a lot. And look, dude, I see you. You were online today at like 8, 9 o'clock, and I texted her. I said, "Hi, how are you? I see you're online, so don't give me the excuse this, that, or the other." So I really don't get why it would be that difficult to say hi. Jenna says hi every day. So it's just beyond me that, here's two different things. They're both Russian girls. Well, Jenna's Ukrainian, but same thing. And yet Jenna has no problem. Okay, every morning, and Daria, I lose for 5 days. And I don't know, are you married? You got a boyfriend? Oh, no, I hate Russian guys. I want you. Oh, okay. I love you. Okay. But if you love me, you wouldn't go a week without talking to me. What is the point of doing that? So I'm not getting the same feedback I get from Jenna, who's also basically Russian. So it should be consistent. You should, if I get a text from Daria or Jenna, I read them. Oh, I'm interested. What are they saying? What's up? So, I think the game plan is for Jenna to finally come here. She says, I need a visa. I says, okay, get the visa. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for the flight, and you stay with me and stay as long as you want. And she's always kind of went away from that. But I think now she's like, fuck it, in the Ukraine. It's enough. She's in Berlin now with her friend, and she's having a good time. She's on a boat ride. She's at a nice restaurant on the water. They love the on the water restaurants. And so that's good. So I said, come here. And I've said that for years, and she's never taken me up on it. But now she's finally like ready to do it. So we'll see. I said, just, do the visa. It's a refugee visa, and come and stay here. So I got to give her my address, I think. But so that's a good sign. And again, Daria, you're playing games. I mean, I don't like it. And when I say, why do you do that? She says, oh, I'm sorry. She gives me the I'm sorry. And I'm like, you're sorry? That's your answer? Okay, well, I'll be sorry when you want rent, and I'm sorry I don't have it. She always does it this week. It's always the last week of the month. And then I always know, well, I'll hear from her because rent's due soon. And anyway, so this will be good. This is my last week of unemployment is Monday. And if I get this job tomorrow, and I don't even know how to act in the interview, I'll just I try to be friendly. I try to be stoic and professional. That's the hardest thing, is don't try to judge what they want you to say. You got to be just honest, which I am. I'm always honest, but I get excited. Oh, great. I can start right away. And they're like looking at me like, nah, forget it. And I'm like, what the fuck do you want? My experience and my good communication skills and my analytical problem solving, whatever. Hey, Greg and John. So we'll see what happens. So that's tomorrow at 9. I already went to the lake today, and I had a Whopper for the first time in years, and they're like $8, and I could see why nobody's there. That's ridiculous. $8 is way too expensive it was a double Whopper, but just way too. Who knows what's in the meat? It's just a hamburger, right? So who knows? So I had that, and anyway, so I'll probably go to the pool later. I got a 5 o'clock with the recruiter just to test the teams, which is fine. That's not a problem. And I'm trying to confirm the pay rate, you know, uh, somewhere in the 50s. And I'm just like, okay. Now it's Social Security. Be careful when you hit that age. They keep moving the amount you can earn. And like I owe because I made too much money at Harley last year. And then it becomes, I got to pay it back. So I said, how much for this year? Although I'm not working, I keep interviewing and can't get the job. And he says, you can make 22,000. Okay. And if I make more, then I got to pay it back. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is the Social Security I paid into it. I should get that money regardless. Why are they saying, well, wait, if you work, you can't get it? What do you mean I can't get it? I paid tax on getting it last year, and now I got to pay it back. Fortunately, Social Security will be gone soon, and the dollar will be out, so it won't really matter. Staying stoic with this girl on LinkedIn. I don't like when people recite, certain stuff, right? It's like they AI it or feed it. They're not reading it and they're just pointing out. And I don't have time for that bullshit. You want to ask me to teach you, fine. I don't need to be taught. I understand it, right? So don't try to teach me economics. Especially, I said, are you Keynesian or Austrian? I don't know. Okay, go fuck off. I mean, I don't have time to listen to your Keynesian economics as I try to teach you Austrian, and then you counterpoint me with Keynesian. All right, go learn from somebody else. I don't have time. So staying stoic is hard. Okay, so let's look at baseball. Oh, let's look at gold first. Gold is up to 24.39. Had a little bit of a run from 24.46 to 24.30. So it went down $14 between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. And then at 6:05, it went from 24.32 up to 24.59. Here comes the 10 o'clock derivative down only $13 and back up. And I said, okay, it's not as strong. It got back to 24.48, and then another derivative down to 24.36. So the downs are only $10 and $20. Even here, it's only $14 at 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and then a $13 one, and then a $10 one, and now it's back to 24.40, and it comes up. But you can see what happened here at 8 in the morning. Well, like at 7, it shot from 24.32. And look at this high line at 8 o'clock. It goes from 24.36 to 24.50, so it goes up $15. We got it to 59, and then I think I know what's happening. This is all bullshit at 9:30. I see it really jumps at 9:30 to 10 o'clock. So there can be a higher derivative down. So in other words, instead of putting it at 24.32, I wait till it goes up, and just before 10, it goes to 59. Now I can do my put derivative at 24.59 and make some money on it. And I see it every day now. So at 10 minutes to 10, I see this spike up, and then at 10 or 10:30, I see the put option. So it's done at a higher amount. So it's all played. Silver still 28.36, extremely price fixed. As we know, derivatives, no tier one, and we know it's undervalued. Well, we know the whole thing's undervalued. It was all optioned down by JP Morgan. We get that. However, so what? Like you guys asked me, so when's it going to not be price fixed? When's it going to go to free market? And gold's free market pretty much now because of BRICS and because of Russia and because of it's a tier one and Basel III, and they have to deliver the gold. So it's treated totally different. They ask for delivery and they have to deliver. So that's much more free market. Silver is still price fixed terribly. So the price is fixed by the banks. The government is the banks. They price fix it. They want a low price for all the electric batteries in the cars and the solar panels. So they want the price lower so they can build it all. For Larry Fink and his ESG, which means George Soros wants it. I think it's all a scam. It's just to get silver price up. So they keep the silver low, and then they buy more. There's a lot of silver, and that's the problem with it. I read somewhere that J.P. Morgan has like 1 billion ounces, and they're selling it to keep the price low. And I'm going, well, if J.P. Morgan has 1 billion ounces, which is not that much, why wouldn't they want the price to go up? Wouldn't it behoove them more if they got silver to $1,000 an ounce and you got all that? Wouldn't you make a lot of money? Well, but the Fed wouldn't want competition. And oh, bullshit, the Fed's out anyway. It's a fire sale at the Fed. So that's my point on that. So 24.40, and then we'll go. So you see how it is. It's all 24.87 down to 23.52. Now it's 24.40. So when it gets near expiration, which is probably August 24th, 25th, somewhere around there, you'll see the spike down, but everybody's waiting for it. So it spikes down and it gets bought right back up. So near the expiration, I would buy gold and silver. Well, silver but the problem with silver is if you think, oh, well, it's going to go up, you got to wait, right? It's still a good investment, but gold's so much better because it's now getting to a physical market. And as we know, low supply, high demand is high price. But silver, it's still manipulated and you got a while to wait there. So just be careful with it. Anyway, 24.40. All right, let's go to baseball. Baseball yesterday. Have the Yankees over. Kansas City. Yankees over winner. Kansas City winner. Baltimore winner. Cincinnati, I lose. Houston, I win. San Diego under 7 goes over. California goes, I have over 8, goes under. And Oakland gets shut out 1-0 to San Francisco. So I had it over. So I lose the last 3. So I go 4-4. Another decent day. Let's go to today. So there was no early games today. This has been a fun week. Had the house clean. Had Monday went did some fun stuff. We'll see. So it's nice. The house is. Oh, I did my vacuum my car. If you go to this car wash, it's free vacuum, provided you get the car wash. Well, I forgot to get the car wash, so I vacuumed out. It's amazing how dirty your feet get. You bring in little rocks and stuff. So I took 10 minutes and felt good to clean the car. And now the house isn't that dirty, but now it's really clean. And so everything's coming together. Oh shit! I got to take my sheets out of the washer. Okay, I'll be right back. No, let's do baseball first, then I'll be right back. Okay, let's start. 6:40. The earliest games at 6:40. We have Baltimore at Cleveland. Very good game. 65-44. Baltimore at 65-42. Cleveland. Cleveland has the better bullpen. Baltimore's got the better hitting, not by a lot. They're very even. Baltimore's favored 105 and over under 9 in Cleveland. Trevor Rogers 2-9 with the 4.53 against Ben Lively 9-6 with the 3.44. It's hard to bet against Baltimore. But in this situation, I think I like Cleveland. I think they got the better pitcher. We know they got the better bullpen and hitting. Baltimore can hit Cleveland, but I think Ben Lively 9-6 isn't great. Trevor Rogers, Cleveland should hit him. It's hard to go over in Cleveland games with their bullpen. They got a 260 bullpen. You're not going to get runs late in the game. So if you don't hit the starter, here you got a good starter. So I think Baltimore doesn't score a lot. Cleveland against this guy. So we're going to take Cleveland right off the bat. And it's 8-1. Hard to believe, right? So we're gonna go Cleveland and we're gonna go 2 units because they're playing Baltimore. Here's why I like the teaser. Give me the let me take Cleveland and 6 in the teaser here. Kansas City at Detroit. Kansas City 60-49. Detroit's now 52-57 and sinking fast. Riley Green is out, their best hitter, and they have no pitching except for the one guy. So Seth Lugo, 12-5 with the 2.66 against Kiter Montero, 1-4 with the 6.38. This will be our lock. Kansas City. We're going to go 7 units on this game as we got the perfect ace going against the 5th starter. Detroit is getting shut out by Cleveland. They're not hitting. It's a hot day out there today too. Miami over under 8.5. Probably be. Well, it's hard to say. Detroit's pitching so bad. Miami at Atlanta. Atlanta minus $2, 8.5 over under. Atlanta 58-49. Miami 40-68, but they've been winning. They've been playing better. Max Meyer 2-0 with the 3-0. Charlie Morton 5-6 with the 4-1-6. I actually like Miami here, but I'm not going to bet them. I don't want to bet against Atlanta at home. St. Louis at the Cubbies. St. Louis minus 110 and 8. St. Louis 56-52. Cubbies 52-58. Sonny Gray for St. Louis 10-6 at the 3.79. Shota Imanaga 8-2 with the 2.95. So this is going to be the Cubs under 8. And this will be 3 units. So this is perfect. We got 2 good pitchers. 8. They got St. Louis favored. I don't know. I don't see it. I think it's a toss-up, so take the dog. And the last game, there's only 4 or 5 games. Colorado at California. California minus 129. Ryan Feltner, 1-10 with the 4.99 for Colorado. Carson Fulmer, 0-2 with the 3.77 for California. We all know Colorado hits like 220 on the road, not like they do at home, because all the pop-ups go for home runs at home. California, I don't know, not crazy about the pitcher. So we're going to get to who has the best bullpen here. And Colorado, it's a 5.83, but I wonder how bad it is at home, right, versus the road. I need to do the home road for them. In the bullpen, we know what their batting average is 40 points different at home than the road. California is 235 with the 4.53. So both teams have very weak bullpens. But they played like a 2-1 game yesterday. So I'm not crazy about the over in California. But both pitchers suck. I'm gonna let that go. And that's it. There's only 5 games. So we're going Cleveland 2 units, Kansas City 7, and the Cubbies under 8 for 3. And that's all we got. We don't force games. And there you go. So that's the bottom line, Stone Cold fans. Those 3. Football tonight. Let's check the line. Now, from what I hear, Caleb's not playing because they're afraid he's going to get hurt. And I just think he shouldn't play. I don't think he should play at all during the season. Because gosh darn it, he could get hurt. So we don't want him to play. All right, let's see the line tonight. All right. So we'll go through the NFL lines one more time. Again, I do not recommend playing NFL preseason as you don't know what you're getting. The only time I would play the NFL preseason is if you have a quarterback battle like Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson and whatchamacallit, what the hell's the guy's name? I want to say Farmer, but Fields. If they're both playing and trying to get the job, I would think Fields would play tonight, right? So I don't see them not playing either of them. We're not tonight, but when Pitt plays, uh, situations like that. Now, why Caleb's not playing, I have no idea, and I don't know who the second teamer is. Minnesota, New England with Drake May and Brissett. I mean, you got to play somebody. What are you just going to play four-string quarterback? So if you are, then you bet under. I mean, appearance like today is probably an under bet because who are you going to quarterback? C.J. Stroud probably isn't playing. Caleb's not playing. They're not that good anyway, but forget it. So I got Houston minus 231.5. So my advice is the only way to bet this is under. But then again, you're getting the third and fourth string defenses. Are they going to be passing attempts? Are you going to see what you have, or it's just going to be all bullshit? So be careful with that. I don't see playing it 31.5. And -2. Forget the -2. Forget the, you don't want to tease the Bears in 8. You don't know anything about it. None of the starters are playing, so forget it. It's like more like baseball. All right, Kansas City 346.5 on Thursday night. Friday in Brazil, Philly 1.5, 48.5. The Bears 4.5, 43.5 against Tennessee. Houston 248 in Indy, which I question Houston being favored here. Buffalo 6.5, 48. Cincinnati 9, 42. Atlanta 2.5, 43 to Pitt, live dog there. New Orleans 5, 40.5. How in the God's name is this not 15 with Steve Young at quarterback? I don't know, but Carolina's, they were 17-0 against with the wonderful Steve Young. So good luck with betting on Carolina. Miami 3.5, 49. The Minnesota Giant game, Giants -1 or mini -1, over under 41.5. I don't know. You got two shit quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, who sucked in college, and Sam Darnold, who sucks in the pros. So Seattle 4.5, 42.5 to Denver. Bo Nix, look out for him. He'll be the offensive like newcomer of the year, whatever they call it, because you don't have Penix playing and none of the other core, and he'll be much better than Caleb. He's got much better coaching, and he's got a much better running back. San Diego 42.5 to Oakland. This just what's Harbaugh doing here? Dallas, Cleveland 1.5, 44. You have to check on Prescott as it gets closer. And again, Micah Parsons against the defensive end on Cleveland. This is his defensive struggle. Tampa Bay 3.5, 4, 41.5 to Washington. As we saw, Washington's terrible against the number last year. Detroit and Atlanta, or in LA, Detroit 3.5, 51. We're not sure why they're favored. I'll take Stafford and Pukanuka all day against that defense. And the Niners 5.5, 44.5 to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. So that's what we got week 1, and that's what we got today. Let's see, 2024 NFL season preview, odds, insights, and betting breakdowns. They're giving every team predictions and season preview. Ignore all that. 3 things to watch during the Texas. Okay, let's look at this. 3 things to watch. God. Chicago looked to start 20 off right and following Houston's footsteps by punching a postseason ticket. Are you kidding me? If they win more than 4 games, I'll be shocked. The Texans, meanwhile, loaded up on veteran talent during the offseason. Yes. Will quarterback experience be the difference? There's no comparison between the experience behind center of the Houston and the Bears. Houston is Davis Mills, Case Keenum, and Tim Boyle. Oh, my God. There's no difference. Oh, my God. No comparison. And Houston's terrible. They lined up behind C.J. Stroud on the desert. Well, Chicago follows Caleb with Tyson Baggett, Brett Rippon, and Austin Reed. So definitely low scoring tonight. You don't have a quarterback on the field. Davis Mills is horrible. I think it's Stanford. Case Keenum. Case Keenum's the best there. Tim Boyle sucks. Tyson Baggett, he sucked. Brett Ribbon is terrible. And Austin Reed, I don't know who these people are. See, you got these as your backup, and where's Sam Hartman? What the fuck did they not take Sam Hartman as a backup? The 3 Houston backups combined 112 starters. The 3 Chicago backups don't crack double digits. Sounds like a real good Bears coach not playing Caleb, who has no experience. For these 3 idiots, what are you going to gain? Why do you play the game if you're not going to gain anything? Is there not something to gain by playing the game? Right? You're going to play this game. You have nothing to gain. You have nothing that you're going to play your 4th string and your 3rd string quarterbacks, and you have nothing to gain. Well, you better find a backup because Caleb's going to suck. So you better find a backup here. In this Tyson Baggett, Brett Rippon, and Austin Reed, 3 terrible quarterbacks. This is what you got. This is who you're sticking with. Really, this is your backups because Caleb's not going to make it because he is not very good. If Notre Dame were to play the Bears, I would take Notre Dame. They know how to handle Caleb, right? Alligator. Why are you showing an alligator? So that's what we have here. Bad news, Bears, with no starters. The Bears head coach, Matt Efferless, was the first problem with the coach. Who's this idiot? Won't be sending out any of his starters to play Thursday, and Bagnett will start behind center. Of course, this means the debut of number 1. Williams will have to wait. Who gives a fuck? He sucks. Next opportunity to hit the field against the Bears, but he won't play because he might get hurt. What a joke. Let's hear alligator. I don't have any alligator to give you. Why do you want to hear him? I'm going to send you some Andy Scheckman and show you how stupid he is. I don't expect Baggett to see a lot of action Thursday either, though. He was serviceable last year with a 2-2 record as a starter. I'm anticipating Rippon and Reed each taking plenty of snaps. Again, this should give the Texans an edge in the second half. Houston running back Damian Pierce and Jawar Jordan are expected to see plenty of run Thursday. The club brought in Joe Mixon, who I've never liked, to lead the rushing attack, but the pecking order behind him is murky. So we're using the preseason to find out who's the 2nd and 3rd string. So you can't see this in practice. You can't look at your running backs and go, yeah, he's really good and he's really good. This is the problem with the coaches. They have to see him in a game. So if I tell you Hartman's really good, because I watched him at Wake Forest and at Notre Dame, the coach killed him. But if I tell you he's really good, well, I got to see him. Really? Why is Caleb your starter? Have you seen Caleb play? Because if you did, he wouldn't be your starter. So anyway, we don't want to get anybody hurt. Well, it looks like Jordan Love will be playing. So that's good. All right, so that's quick look at NFL now. Now, I was listening on the radio, and they're talking about the top 15 or 20 quarterbacks or the top 100 players. Don't listen to that. I mean, okay, Mahomes, yeah, they got Lamar, number 2, really? And he's won what, 2 playoff games? And he's number 2? Lamar is not what, I don't know what they think Lamar is, a good runner, but who cares? Then it was like CJ Stroud and Tagliabue, and they're going that Goff was number 12, which is right, but CJ Stroud was like 20. Tagliabue was like 35, and some of these quarterbacks, okay, and Joe Burrow was like 39, and I'm like, okay, whoever made this list is fucking clueless. That's why I don't like you guys listening to all this crap, because these guys don't know what they're talking about. So the best quarterback is Mahomes. Second best is Burrow, not even close. Third best is going to be Herbert and then Aaron Rodgers, but they weren't even on the list. Then you got, so let's go through this mess. Best is Mahomes. So let's look at the A list. The A list is Mahomes and Burrow and maybe Josh Allen, but we're not crazy about him. Burrow, of course. It's pretty sad. Herbert. We'll see, but I think Bo Nix will be on there by the end. Penix will be on there once he starts playing. And Stafford I would put on there, and Aaron Rodgers. Brock Purdy's not that far off. He wins you games. Then your next list, the next group is Lamar and Jordan Love and Russell Wilson and Penix and Josh Allen and maybe Derek Carr. I don't know. Minshew's not bad. Like I said, Bo Nix will be in there once he gets going. Thompson Robinson's pretty good from UCLA on Cleveland if they get going with it. Daniels should probably be in that list. Jalen Daniels from LSU, the Baker, Mayfield, Jared Goff, and Brock Purdy are kind of the next level. And then your third seeds are Jalen Hurts. I actually put Kyler Murray on that second list. Levis and Caleb and Brissett, CJ Stroud and Richardson, Lawrence and Tag. Bryce Young is the fifth. He's down at the bottom. Tagliabue, Carr, and then Geno Smith, Prescott, and that's it. And then the worst are going to be like Kirk Cousins, Levis and Caleb and Brissett and Richardson, Darnold and Jones. Those are your worst guys. Prescott's probably in the fourth group, and that's it. So what are they doing? Why would Lamar be second? What has he done? He's done nothing. Oh, he's the MVP. Yeah, bullshit. He's the MVP. He ain't no MVP. If he's the MVP, how many Super Bowls has he won? None. And how many has Mahomes won? Oh, like 4 now or 3? Yeah, tell me how Lamar's better than Mahomes. Right? Really? Why wasn't Mahomes the MVP? Because they wanted Lamar, because not based on playing. Love is getting good. Let's go team by team. Lamar is second tier, third tier, because as soon as you stop him from running, he can't hurt you. Mahomes, first tier. Love is getting second tier near first tier. Hurts is like third tier. Russell Wilson is second tier, first tier. Kirk Cousins is like fourth tier. Penix is probably going to be first tier. Kyler Murray's like second tier. Josh Allen, second tier. Levis is fifth tier. Caleb's fifth tier. Brissett's fifth tier. Joe Burrow, first tier. C.J. Stroud, probably third tier. Richardson, fourth tier. Trevor Lawrence, third tier. Tag, third tier. Bryce Young, fifth tier. Carr is he's second tier. Darnell, fourth tier. Jones, fifth tier. Minshew's like third tier. Justin Herbert's first tier. Bo Nix will be first tier. Geno Smith's third, going to second. Prescott is third. Watson's fourth. Thompson Robinson's probably third, going to second. Daniels will be second. Baker is second. Stafford's first. Goff is third, maybe second. Rodgers is first, and Brock Purdy's second. That's how the quarterbacks are. From you're going to bet on them. Who do you trust? And it ain't the Joker. So that's what you're looking at. Is a who do you trust? And they get better ratings because of, or they're better because they run. CJ Stroud, what is so good about CJ Stroud? Oh, he lost 38-3 in the playoff game. Oh yeah, they got 10 because of a punt return. That's what he shows up with, right? In a playoff game against Baltimore, they can't even get first downs with this guy. He scrambles, they sack him. I mean, okay, we've seen it. We've seen it at Ohio State in 2 Michigan games. The guy couldn't get points. So tell me why he's good. At what point does he good? I don't see it. Beating Illinois and Indiana does not make you a top quarterback. Herbert is going to get wasted in San Diego if Harbaugh is just going to run it. That's a fucking joke. If I was Herbert, I'd want to be traded to a good team. Bo Nix will be good. Bo Nix and Penix and Daniels will all be first tier. But Drake May and J.J. McCarthy are clearly fourth tier, maybe. And we know how bad Caleb is. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's pathetic. I really don't understand him being taken one. Do they not watch college games? I guess they don't. They're looking at what is 40 time. I mean, the painted fingernails. What is it about the guy? Dak Prescott needs to go. And Deshaun Watson needs to go. He's all done. Goff he's too big of a choke. Goff. He's not a first tier. He's a average second tier. He's probably a third to second tier. He's just in the pressure's on. He just doesn't show up. So he's good against weak teams and in the first half when there's no pressure. And as soon as that pressure starts coming, all 3 playoff games, he didn't show up in the second half. He didn't show up against Baltimore. Didn't show up against Dallas. He gets the touchdown late when the game's over. Same thing against the Niners. The only points they got, they were down 10 with a minute left. He gets the touchdown. But when you needed him to get the touchdown, when you're up 34 or 24-14 or 24-17, he fumbles. He intercepts. The Dallas game, he throws an interception with 2 minutes left in the game. That's Goff. You pressure him, he's useless. Rodgers, we know how good he is. Brock Purdy, I think, is much, much better. Jordan Love's growing. So if you really want to look at the quarterbacks, that's how you got to just go team by team. Why would I think Bo Nix should be getting preseason snaps. I think Penix should be running Atlanta's offense. We know how much of a choke Cousins is. So let's get Penix out there who doesn't choke. He beat Oregon twice, and nobody wants to admit it. Nobody wants to say, yeah, that was good against that defense. That was a great fucking defense for Oregon, and he blew them out twice. Well, he put up 30 points on them twice. Oh, well, that doesn't count. How about Texas? He puts up 38 on Texas. Well, that doesn't count. That was only a playoff game. Look what he did against Michigan. Yeah, when he didn't have his running back. Okay, sure. Well, we can find one game when he did, and that's bullshit. He is an outstanding quarterback, And I'm sure Atlanta is tickled that they have him and figuring out how to get rid of Cousins. Maybe they'll trade him to Dallas for Gatorade or something. Cousins stinks. He chokes. We've seen it. We know he had Jefferson. He couldn't win. What the fuck do you want from this? What are you looking at that you think this guy's any good? Lawrence, how did you lose the division with Houston, Indy, and Tennessee in it? You got a 3-game lead and you choke it away, just like you did in college. Tagliabue is only good when they don't blitz and against weak teams. We know Bryce Young's terrible. He's way over his head. Why they're giving him another year, I don't understand it. It's like Matt Patricia, the Lions. The guy sucks. Oh, let's have him coach another year. Maybe he'll figure it out. Either he gets it or he doesn't. This is my dilemma and my argument with hitting baseballs. I played baseball. All right. I didn't get to the majors. I played Pony Colt. I played till I was after Little League. I played 13, 14 and 15, 16. And I was going to try out at college, but parents divorced that I had to work, unfortunately, which still pisses me off. So then you have that. You have, where was I going with it? Oh, so I played baseball. Either you can hit the ball or you can't, right? I had a closed stance and I just saw the ball. I hit the ball. I didn't care if it was a curveball or fastball. I could read if it was a curveball. It's a lot slower. But what I learned from softball is you got to wait on it. A fastball comes, you just swing. But if a curveball comes, you wait on it like you do in softball. It's no big deal. It's like the over-the-shoulder catch. If you can play football, what do? You catch the ball over your shoulder every time. I mean, you don't turn and face it. You're running down the field, you look over your shoulder, you catch it. So you learn how to do that. So I don't get these big deals about how great a catch it is because they looked over their shoulder. Well, if you play football, it's a simple catch. What the fuck is the big deal? Oh, what an amazing catch. And everything's amazing. So you either know how to hit or you don't know how to hit. And this is my problem with these, like the Tiger guys. Oh, well, we need to, all they do is fuck their hitters up because they want them to raise the shoulder. My daughter, they wanted to raise her shoulder. They want to, I was like this. My shoulders were down and I'm not going to listen to anybody, but I can hit the ball because it's not about that. It's really about feeling the ball. You see it and then you just swing at it. You never see the contact. So either you can feel it or you can't. And that's it. That's all it is. It's hitting the ball. I would close the stance, try to hit the ball to right center. And if it's really inside, pull it to left. But most of the time, all my hits went to right center. And I hit a ton. And you get a little extra, and it's just a compact, and you just boom. It's not too big of a swing, but you can hit the ball a long way. But so what are you trying to change the hitters for? Well, they can do this and that. Fuck, get away from the hitter. Just can he hit or not? And all these guys hitting 180 are getting fucked up by their coaches. Why do they think they can hit? And then when they get up here, they can hit. And after the Tigers get done with them, they all hit about 120. Great batting coaches. I wouldn't even have a batting coach. Just hit the fucking ball. Just see it and hit it. That's it. Close your stance. I don't want home runs. If you happen to hit a home run, great. I'm looking for 300 hitters with 100 RBIs. And if you can't hit 300, I don't want you on the team. And if you hit 200, you're not playing. And I'll get a fast leadoff hitter like Campy Campaneris. And then, Reggie Jackson and Sal Bando hitting 3-4 and, Bill North and those guys. That's what I want to see. Pete Rose first, Joe Morgan second, Johnny Bench third, Perez, George Foster. That's the hitters I want, and just leave them alone. And either they can hit or they can't. It's just so stupid. So that's my point about baseball, and then same thing with football. So the point is, if they can hit, they can hit. They can hit right away, right? That's the point. but that's not what's happening. So why do you have such bad hitters in the league? They're all trying to hit home runs. Oh, fuck it. They can't hit it all, and then you got all these pitchers pitching 95 miles an hour. So it's not a big deal because I see it every day. I get used to it. I time it. You need some screwball pitchers, fast knuckleball pitchers. You need pitchers who throw the ball 88, then really fuck up the hitters, 95, 88. That's what you need to do. Anyway, so we've got our baseball picks. Cleveland 2 units, KC 7 units, and the Cubbies under 8, 3 units. We like Miami, but for no bet. You can bet them if you want. That's it. There's only 5 games today. A lot of early games yesterday. I don't know what they're doing. Football again. None of the starters for the Bears are playing, which is that kind of ironic because they're like the terrible team that you need the chemistry, you need the playing together. So I don't really get that. That's it. Gold, see the derivatives. So let's look at Andy Scheckman and rip him apart. Andy Scheckman talks, but doesn't understand it. So in the first 54 seconds, I'm going to rip Andy a new asshole. All right, here we go.
When you realize that gold's the only other tier 1 reserve asset in the world, when you realize that the central banks are buying it at a level that no one's ever seen before, I think gold, when the music stops, is the place to be. But with that being said, I will argue that silver is the opportunity of a generation. So if I had 2 trades, I would buy silver, I would let it run, and when the ratio between the two correct, I would then try to switch to silver. From an upside potential, I don't think you can compare what silver has to offer, but because the ratio between the two is so historically out of whack, it's an anomaly. And, you buy silver right now at near 80 to 1, realize it's coming out of the ground at 7 to 1. It had been coming out of the ground for 5,000 years at 16 to 1. And, it's average price wise, man's price, not God's ratio, but man's price has been roughly 41 or 42 to 1 for 150 years. It's double right now, nearly its 200-year average, and what would it be right now? You're talking 11 times higher than it's coming out of the ground at. There are very few investments, assets, commodities that offer what silver has to offer, let alone the fact that it has plurality in demand in military applications and industrial applications and monetary applications. And we've talked at length about how it appears the commercial banks are trapped right now in an insidiously large short position.
Any significance that you might draw from Putin's visit to North Korea?
Too many losing tickets? Then don't spend another dime on Lotto until you watch this first.
Shut the fuck up. Okay, so in the first minute and 30, we're going to kill him. We're going to kill him, we're going to kill him, we're going to kill him, as Herman Munster would say. So he's totally clueless to the price fixing. He's totally clueless that it's paper. Oh, it's 80 to 1. Well, hello, you're not price fixing gold as much because it's a tier 1 asset and it's Basel 3. And all the central banks are what? Buying tons and tons of gold. But they're not buying tons and tons of silver. They're buying a little bit to make solar panels and electric vehicles and Tomahawk missiles. So they're buying that. So of course, since the government / banks are price fixing it, not the free market, they're keeping the price down on it so they can make these things cheaper. So they don't want silver to be at 10 to 1, which would be $240 an ounce, because gold's $240, but still kept down. Or gold's $24.50, still kept down, should be 20,000, and then therefore gold should be 2,000. That's what should be. But because the price fixing of gold's running out and all the central banks are buying gold because they realize the dollar is printed to zero, but people aren't jumping on silver the same way as they should, because the silver price should be going up in a free market, aka Rolex, aka Mantle and Montana cards. However, that's not what silver is. Silver's communist price fixed by, say, government called JP Morgan. That's who's keeping the price down, not the free market. Why doesn't Andy Scheckman understand this very easy, critical point? This is why I bitch at these guys. How do you not understand price fixing and paper versus physical? How don't you get it? So I can't believe it's 80 to 1. Well, why can't you? They're keeping the price low so they can do those things, right? The electric battery and the solar panels and the Tomahawk missiles. Nobody's buying it as money yet. But as gold goes through the roof, guess what? They're going to buy it. They're going to have to because it's money. And gold's going to be way too expensive to buy. Hence, silver will take over. Gold's almost at a physical price, but not yet. They're not letting it run. When gold finally gets physical price and not paper price, it'll be 15,000, 20,000 easy because it's been forced down. And silver will jump too if it's get away. But notice it's still not a tier 1 supply. It's still not Basel III. Nobody can necessarily take delivery. And COMEX is basically a pricing game, not anything to do with really a storage thing. People are trying to buy silver, but I don't know where the price comes into play when you want to buy it, only in the derivative market. Oh, I'll just do derivatives and keep the price down. So let me show you this. So I'm going to show you the chart today. Okay. So we got gold back to 24.42. Look at the chart. So at 2 in the morning down to 6, then 6 to 10 to 5 to 10, it jumps, and then at 10 drops a little and kind of goes back up. And then at 2 o'clock at noon, it drops a little bit more, then goes back up. And now it's on its way up since 2. And we're back to 24.42. So we're all, it's kind of a break-even day. Now, keep that in mind. Let's look at the silver chart. And we see it doesn't have much of a 2 o'clock. It goes from 28.97 to 28.82. Then it goes up to 29.11 at roughly 9.55. The same derivative in gold that happens at 10 happens in silver, only it goes from 29.11 to 28.38. It goes down 80 cents, then a little bit up, and then bam at noon, just like the gold did. And now it's 2 o'clock. It's coming back up like the gold's doing. So very similar chart, only the down by the U.S. went from 29.11 to 28.40. So it went down 70 cents. And it's derivatives. What is this guy, Andy Scheckman? What is he on drugs? Does he not? Does he not understand what derivatives are, what paper is, how it's price fixed? Apparently he doesn't. This is my warning, is why you don't listen to Peter Schiff and Mike Maloney and this Andy Scheckman guy, and even Alligator's getting really strange, and Rickert and Rick Rude, all these guys. The lady, whatever the fuck her name is, this is why you can't listen to them, because they don't know what's going on. Oh, it should be 80 to 1. It's price fixed, fellas. What part of this are you not getting? It's not the true price. Gold is not at its true physical price yet, but it's getting there. But silver's clearly being price fixed. They're jumping on it. They're doing derivatives to knock it down. What are you looking at? They need it down for the solar panels and the electric car batteries. That's why silver's down. I heard one guy try to say, well, they'll just substitute other goods. You can't. You can only put silver in a car battery and a solar panel. You can't put anything else. You can't put copper. If you could, they would. You can't. So that's why the price will stay low, but it's price fixed low. It's not free market. This is the point I'm yelling at, is free market would be a whole lot different than this. And this is paper, and this is the problem. So please understand that. That's the whole point of it. So this is why I'm very sketchy about listening to these guys. The only guy I kind of trust is Mark McGuire and Egon. And outside of that, there's nobody. They don't understand the price fixing. I'm not sure Egon does. Mark McGuire gets it because he's been listening to me. And see, they're all like listening to me, and all of a sudden I'm hearing, oh yeah, JP Morgan's price fixing it. Where'd you get that from? I didn't hear you say that before I say it. So they're all listening to me, finally figuring out, oh, it's price fixed by JP Morgan. So why listen to these guys? You get it all right here. I'm the one that understands it because I bet football and I play poker and I understand people and I understand this kind of crap. And that's the difference. So that's the bottom line. So keep that in mind. Don't waste your time with them. Lynette Zing's the woman that has no clue. She thinks hyperinflation is already here. She doesn't even know what it is. She wants to barter with silver. She doesn't know what that is. No, there's not going to be bartering with silver. And how are you going to barter with silver? What's the price going to be? We're going to price it in dollars? If you're bartering with silver, the price is not in dollars. The price has to be in silver. So there's no need to barter it. She doesn't get that. So again, these people are just clueless. They're just salesmen. They're stockbrokers. They're just salesmen. They're not economists. Like I'm telling you, this girl who hit me up on LinkedIn and now we're on WhatsApp, and she keeps with these stupid analyses. And I go, are you Keynesian or Austrian? Well, I don't know. I listen to my brother. He's an expert. Oh, then what are you bothering me for? She asked me if I was an economist. I says, if you ever insult me again, you'll be blocked and gone. What do you mean, am I an economist? Did you not read my LinkedIn that says I'm an economist? Anyway, I don't like people like that. And she's like, it's almost like she's looking at the definition of capitalism or gold or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't look at the definition of it. I know what it is. So it's very frustrating to me to go back to square one and say, okay, square one, here we go. You know, this is a football. I remember my football coach when I was in high school, junior high. This is a football, brown with white stripes, and I used to laugh at it. Okay. See again. Okay, Putin issues nuke war, issues direct threat to U.S. It's not real. He says it because he's not doing it. So in other words, if I'm going to nuke you, I'm not telling you I'm nuking you. So by him giving a warning, it means he's not going to do it. He doesn't want to do it because if he nukes us and we nuke him, it's all over. Well, he's got all the gold, he's got all the oil. The last thing he wants is a nuclear war. He wants the war to end and business to go on. I sell you oil and I sell you gas and diamonds and gold, and I make money. So there's no incentive to nuke. The U.S., I don't know. I saw this thing on Biden today. Let me go to and it was really strange. Oh, this idiot. Terrible news on gold and silver. And he doesn't know what he's talking. I mean, it's like, it's a stupid comment. It's just to get you to watch it. I hate people like that. If you can't learn, if you can't teach, then get the fuck off. But don't give terrible news for gold and silver. What's the terrible news? It's going to go to 1 million? Get out of the fucking way. I like this John Strassel. So he came up with that Venezuela is socialism. So when socialism doesn't work, they're trying to say, well, it's not socialism. It was the free market or capitalism that caused it to fail. No, socialism fails because the government tries to run the market, sort of like keeping silver low when they shouldn't be. They should let gold and silver at the market, like they let Rolexes and Mahomes cards at the market. But they don't want to do that. Let's see my like videos. %80 of foreigners have left Shanghai because it's crashing. There was this one where they thought that Biden was a double because one of the guys looked like Biden was rubbing his neck and you could see the mask go. And I don't know where that one went. Anyway, 80% of foreigners have left Shanghai. A lot of the top stores and restaurants we know have gone. It is broke. And this is when you know the dollar, or in this case, the yuan's worthless. Right now it's 7-1, but it should be much higher. But it's all a domino effect of the housing market, right? Evergrande fucks everybody over. People don't want to buy houses now. They're buying gold. Do you trust the banks? I can't get my money out of the banks. I don't know how many people are putting their money in savings accounts for gold, or are they just buying the gold, whatever. This is a very bad communist country with the government controlling things. The rich people are getting thrown in jail and they're stealing their money because they need money. And then they start printing the money and it's causing massive inflation in China. Now, are they ruining it to say, hey, we need to go on the gold standard or what? I don't know. I don't know how the US is keeping China from starting the gold standard. But I think if it gets really bad, they'll go to the gold standard. They got the gold, 60,000 tons for Christ's sake. So look for that to happen. But 80% of foreigners have left Shanghai because it's broke. So keep in mind that China's fucked. They're gone. Where was that video? I want to see the Trump with the mask. See, I don't get this. Biden killed by bullet that hit Donald Trump. So we'll watch this one, but it doesn't.
Senior born before 1957.
Why? He wasn't even there.
In need of dental work. This will.
Did anybody hear he had died? I didn't hear that. Well, he was dead when he was in office, but I always thought he had a double. What did they? Joe Biden wasn't there. Oh, here you go. Watch him rub his neck. See how it looks? Look how funny it looks. Look at that. Look at the wrinkle. What do you mean debunked? Clearly, this is not Biden. How could the bullet hit Trump but kill Biden? Biden wasn't there. That's the part I don't understand. This is George Soros, it sounds like. Yeah, avoid propaganda. Listen to us. We wouldn't lie to you. If they think Kamala Harris can win, they're crazy. I love this transparency word. I like how they make up words.
Don't miss out. Follow One India for real-time update.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, what was he wasn't at the rally, so how did the shot that missed Trump, that hit Trump, hit Biden and kill him? The only guy that died was the fighter guy. I don't know how he died, because if you look where he was sitting, that bullet had to come from another direction. So I don't understand that. I don't get this transparency shit. It makes, I don't like the wording, how they try to change their words around. But I don't get it. But that one scene, it's funny. I was looking for it and I stumbled on it, where he's rubbing his neck, and you can clearly see that he had a mask on, right? I mean, the skin wasn't even normal. It looked kind of weird. So yeah, I've always thought there's a body double, because it doesn't make sense. The guy can barely walk, and then he gets on a commercial or he gives a speech, and he's all fired up and yelling and screaming at people, and you're like, where would he get that energy from? Or there really must be hitting him with hard drugs that he can get out there and talk like that when he can't even walk. So definitely something weird's going on as far as who is it? Is that George Soros behind the mask? So anyway, really weird shit. I don't know, but again, 80% of foreigners have left Shanghai. China's fucked, right? It's all from their Evergrande and their housing problems, right? So it causes the banks to go out, which causes people not to get their money. I like the one we did yesterday, where they really explained the banking, a little bit better, concise than the way I had done it, but very similar. They take your money and loan it out. And if they can't get paid back, then you're fucked, because they need the money. They need the Evergrande money to pay the customers. And if they don't get the money from Evergrande, they can't pay the customers. So everybody gets fucked because they made bad loans. That's why you don't do real estate. It's the worst investment and the worst loan for the bank to do. That's why you got to have able and willing people borrow the money. You got to have safe people that can pay it back. And you saw how 2008 shook down. You're loaning money to people that couldn't pay you back, which killed the banks. And they were kind of forced to by Clinton because he made them loan the money. He said, "Don't worry, we'll bail you out." Why do you want to bankrupt the banks for? So again, if you do risky things, you get problems, and that's kind of what happened. Hey, who are you, Bobby Bo? Well, yeah, we thought you were dead, and what the hell? I've been holding your Mahomes card for a while. Bobby Bo, Luke's been asking about you, and we are hope you weren't ill. We couldn't understand where the hell you were. Welcome back. I hope you're fine. I hope you're well and everything's good. We got gold up to 24.45 for you. I'm working on that $3,000 gold for you. Silver still price fixed at 28.29. I'll tell Luke you're on. He always says, "Where's Bobby Bo?" I have watched a lot of the playbacks. Have you been sick? I know you were complaining about a certain illness, or did you just get captured by the Chinese? Were you in a Chinese prison for 5-6 months? Oh my God. Well, I'm glad you're here. So just so you know, like for football, I'm going to teach classes. I won't give the picks. I'll go through the games like I did today, but the picks will be in class. So it'll be a pro and a college. It's $25 to do the class, or you can buy the picks normally. But that's the only difference. Where too many people complain where I'm giving all the picks out here, and then the buyers are like, "What the fuck am I buying for if you're going to give the picks out?" So I don't want to do that, and so that'll be the only change. Baseball, we gave picks. Cleveland, KC, and the Cubbies under 8 today. There's only 5 games. I didn't like one of them. But, so we've got Bricks Goldback currency coming out in October. Mark McGuire swears by it now. He gave 5 times on his video that we're doing it. So look for gold. Mark's calling for $3,000 an ounce gold. And once Bricks goes out, it'll be much higher. That's just getting there, and they're breaking up the price fixing of gold because it's the Basel III, and you got to stand for delivery. However, silver's still price fixed, so you're not going to get a better price for a while on that, but it will definitely zoom up. A lot of BS, laugh a lot. I did have a UB issue where I was able to log in for about a month, although I had to address some stuff that needed my attention, so I took care of that, but I missed being in class. You had a YouTube issue. Okay, yeah, they're pretty controlled. A lot of BS. What? I don't get that. I didn't log in for about a month. Well, that's okay, Bobby. I mean, I was just glad you're okay. I was worried about that. Yeah, YouTube is really weird. They knocked me out for a week, but I've been careful. It's funny. I can swear they don't care about that, but I can't go against the World Health Organization. So if I bring up anything like health-wise, they freak out. YouTube and a little bit of family stuff. That's okay. No, as long as you're okay, that's all we cared about. Luke wants to meet at Capitol Grill soon because we need $3,000 gold to meet at Capitol Grill. He's taking the family to a Pittsburgh Pirate game. He's got 18 people. So he's so he wants to take us to a Pirate game. And then he said he's coming into Detroit, so he wants to go get some Capitol Grill then. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, football tonight. We got Caleb. He won't play because they don't want to get him hurt. I actually betted on the home run derby along with Hernandez. Hernandez hits the guy in Cleveland. He hits a lot of homers. Now, have you been able to tell your daughter why she needs gold and silver and not money? Has she figured that part out yet? That you're not going to be able to take money to the grocery store? He's on the Dodgers. I don't know. There was a Hernandez, I think, on Cleveland or Ramirez, maybe one of the two. But okay, well, I'm glad you did well with that. Yeah, the Dodgers, they got a lot of injury. They got 5 hitters hitting under 200. They're like the Tigers. But yeah, that's so again, glad you're well. And yeah, it was confusing. Like, where's Bobby? Like, didn't make sense. Oh, my mom died, which nobody told me. She died in October. I don't know about it till June. I get an email. The attorney who did the trust emails, and she's looking for my address to mail me something so she can keep doing the trust. She's been trying to get a hold of me for like 8 months. So why don't you just go on my LinkedIn? It has my wrong address, but it has my phone number and my email. Why don't you just fucking email me there? So she's sending it to my old address before Alabama. And I never got it because it's been more than a year. So they stopped moving the mail. And I said, why didn't you just ask? That's ridiculous. So anyway, we'll see what I get for that. But I think they're going to try to pay it out by September, October. And well, there's 2 life insurances. They sold the house and a business. So there could be a big chunk of change coming. But it's just funny how nobody told me. My brother, no, nobody, my kids, nobody said, oh, by the way, grandma died or my mom died. So amazing. Toes Car Hernandez. All right. I watched a lot of your playback, especially. I don't completely miss class. Well, that's good, Bobby. Oh, man, I'm sorry. No, she passed last October. I didn't hear about it till this June. So for 6 months, I don't know she's dead. And I asked the attorney, where is she buried? I want to go to her grave at least. She's buried in California. The fuck she's doing there? She lived in Michigan her whole life. My brother moved to San Diego, and apparently, so he doesn't tell me she's dead, and then he ships the body to San Diego to have the fucking funeral. Yeah, but don't tell Howard. It's like, geez, this is the problem you have with family, right? They're just a bunch of idiots. Me and my mom weren't on really that close speaking terms, but I think when she dies, you probably should tell me. So it made me look bad. Like, well, why isn't Howard at the funeral? Because Howard don't know that she died. So I don't know about a funeral that happened. And who knows if it was in California or Michigan. She was in an old folks home. She was 93. So it's not like a surprise that she died, but okay. So again, another reason that I don't talk to my family is right there. I told Jenna and Daria, and they're sorry, and I said this is why I don't talk to the family. My blood pressure is much smoother without talking to them. Anyway, so not a big deal. It's not. Thank you anyway, but it's not. She's 93. You're expecting her to die when she's in the 90s, which is funny. My dad's side all had diabetes and strokes when they're in their 60s. So I'm halfway out of it. So we'll see. This is why I fast and swim and everything else to make sure I'm okay. But really happy you're back, Bobby Bo. Because I missed the dialogue here. God knows Greg and John. He's wondering if I'm watching the Olympics. These are he's still vampiring me. It's hysterical. I don't know. Is there a Mr. and Mrs. Greg and John? Because all of a sudden he'll say, hi, how's it? And then like a half hour later, he'll say, hi, how are you? And it was like a woman was oh, hi, dear, how are you? And I'm like, why would Greg and John say that? So I'm wondering if he's got a Mrs. Greg and John or his girlfriend or sister watches, but they all use Greg and John. So I can't figure that out. Well, thank you, Bobby Bo. I appreciate it coming from you. Yeah, I can relate, as I have had a lot of family stuff that has raised. Well, we have the problem with gold, just trying to explain it, like you said, to your kids. You got some bets going for Hall of Fame game. The only bet I could possibly make is under, because I read the quarterbacks and they all suck. And if Stroud, and I don't know why Caleb would not play. Why would you not play Caleb? God knows he needs the playing time. And I keep going back to the Notre Dame and UCLA game when he was useless. He threw 3 picks against Notre Dame and a fumble, and he did nothing against UCLA. He did nothing against Arizona, and I'm not sure if he played Oregon. And at what point do you think he's good? You know, if the Bears played Notre Dame, I would take Notre Dame. But no, I don't have any bets. Baseball, like Kansas City is my bet, 7 units. The Cubs under 8 for 3, and Cleveland for 2. But yeah, KC's probably the best bet of the day because they got their stud going, and Detroit's got Kenta Maeda with his 6 ERA. So Detroit's not hitting anymore. Riley Green's out. They don't hit. They get hot, and then the last Cleveland just shut them down. Minnesota shut them down, and Skubal's their only pitcher. So if it ain't Skubal, then good luck. Verlander's out again, and then Scherzer's been back, but he's looked like shit. Ranger Suarez on Philadelphia was hot. Now he looks like shit, giving up 6 runs a game now. Cleveland has the guy in the bullpen who's great. I watched him. I was at the club riding my bike the other day, and he comes up in the 9th inning against the Tigers. It's 1, 2, 3, little pop up, little ground out, and I'm just laughing my ass off. I'm loving it. The Tigers were making statements why they didn't do anything at the trade deadline, and well, we got some. I guess they got some minor leaguers. Yeah, so we're supposed to buy that bullshit again. Yeah, he's cheap. He doesn't want to spend money. The Illich Jr., right? He's got billions of dollars from Illich, from the pizza. Little Caesar's Pizza is Illich. And he doesn't want to spend any money. So if you notice, he gets rid of Verlander for nothing because it was a price thing. And then he trades Flaherty for minor leaguers, and all his trades are for minor leaguers who never do any good. Why aren't you getting 300 hitters? And it's cheap because they're cheap because they're minor leaguers. They don't make any money. And then if they get any, I don't understand any of it. So wait a minute. So I get a good pitcher, Flaherty. He turns good, so I trade him. So I'm buying him to trade. What are you buying, stocks to sell? So he buys them. Flaherty did well. He gets rid. Wait a minute. Isn't that the point? Flaherty did well. You keep him. I don't buy any of this shit. I mean, in football, what, you drafted Mahomes, then you got Kelsey, and now you're in Super Bowl. So why didn't you get rid of Mahomes and Kelsey? Oh, wait, you won the Super Bowl because they're really good. Or Joe Burrow. You don't see Cincinnati trading Joe Burrow away. Fuck. I don't understand baseball. They get the guy, they get these prospects, they always fail. Why would you give up a Verlander for prospects when he's already a superstar? Why would you get rid of him? He wins two World Series at Houston that you could have won. Well, we're gonna struggle at 400 and be 20 games out every year. And yeah, I'm sure there's fans' interest. Nobody gives a fuck. The tickets are too expensive, and so I have no desire to go. If I go anywhere, I go to a Michigan game, but not this year. They'll be terrible. And then Luke's brother sells tickets. Maybe Luke can give us LSU, Georgia tickets or something. Betta sent me some silly free play bet on an over-under 38.5 for the first field goal. You know what I don't like is all these the players the bet. Oh, bet $5, and then if you win, you get 150 in free play. And the only way to get it is to gamble it. It's not like you get the 150. You know what it reminds me of is that 3-card money. If you're ever in New York, well, you know, Bobby, and you go and the guy's got 3-card money. Where's the queen? And you can follow it, and then okay, here's the queen. And then they start playing with you, and you can never guess the queen anymore because the queen's not on the table. But that's what it sounds like. Oh, you'll give you a free 150, but the odds on you getting that money is 0. What a scam that whole thing is. I did the under, but who knows? But for today's game, the over-under 38.5 for the first field goal. Okay. What's your question? Did I say something you didn't get? You got some, no. So no bets going in the Hall of Fame game. No, just in baseball. That's all and it's just really the Kansas City game is the best bet. Like I said, against Detroit. Seth Lugo, 12-2 with a 2.3 ERA against Kenta Maeda with a 6 ERA. I can't wait for college. Yeah, well, that's the 24th, so now we're 3 weeks away. And I think, no, it's Florida State. So we got Florida State, Georgia Tech, Uglia Buglia. Well, okay, so we got Uglia Buglia against Georgia Tech, and somehow Florida State's 13.5-point favorites with Uglia Buglia. Oh, well, all of a sudden he's good. I mean, and then Georgia Tech's got a weak defense. It'll get better. Florida State, over under 55.5. And Kings is back for Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech can hang in there with Florida State. And then LSU is 6.5, 62 with USC. The game's in Vegas. I like LSU's quarterback, but it's Brian Kelly. I mean, again, it's a system. He's whoever comes in will be good. And we know USC. I think it's the Vegas quarterback who will start for USC. He was very good at Vegas. And the guy who played in the bowl game, who was he playing against? Fifth graders on the other team. So I don't see that again. 62. We can go 56 over. Yeah, USC with the 35 defense. Now USC brought in the UCLA defensive coordinator, who was very good. UCLA had a 18 defense last year, but they had the twins in the defensive tackles, and they had I think one of the linebackers or safety was a first-round draft pick. They had an excellent players. I don't know. The guy's going to come in and with the 35 defense of USC and make it an 18, not game one. I mean, if this is, you tease it over 56, and probably at halftime you're winning it, right? 56 is what? 31-28's 59. You don't think it's going to go there? Shit, by halftime. I mean, you're not stopping USC. LSU doesn't have the defense. We know USC doesn't have the defense. LSU going to hand USC their ass. Well, they're going to score every possession, I think. LSU is going to be even better in 25 because of their recruiting, but they can still win it this year. Well, I'll give you 3 teams that are awfully pissed, and they didn't make the playoff last year. Georgia, Ohio State, and Oregon. And then Utah with Cam Rising back, who I know you don't like Cam Rising, but I'd bet him this year. So you got 4 really pissed off teams. Michigan's actually got a schedule this year, so they're not going to do anything. Washington has they might not be too bad. USC, no defense. Alabama, I love the coach from Washington, but they still have Milrose, who I still get pissed at because he fumbled against Michigan. They should have won that game. How good's Milrose going to be? Penix was great in that, but Penix could throw the ball on a dime. There was a lot of passes. Oduzzi's getting the credit, but it's fucking if you watch the games, like the game against Texas, Penix put it right on his fucking hands, like over his head, and it landed right here. I mean, it was like Penix is the man. So I don't. That guy's great. Milrose is not Penix by a mile, and I think when Atlanta should start Penix like game 4, let him get used to it. If you're going to think you're going to win with Kirk Cousins, holy shit, you got to be out of your mind. How did that go with Minnesota? Yeah, you had Justin Jefferson and you couldn't fucking win. Cousins is not your answer, but Penix is 5 times better than Cousins. Not even close. They won't lose 3 straight week ones. No. Brian Kelly's a great coach. They'll have a great offense. It's just the defense. I agree, Professor, 100%. This can be one of the best CBS with the extended playoff. Well, I bitched last year should have been 8 teams. How do you have a playoff and Georgia wasn't in it and Oregon wasn't in it? Ohio State, okay, they lost to Michigan. They weren't that good, and Utah didn't have Rising. So those 2 should have been in it, and Florida State. How does Florida State go undefeated and not get in? So Georgia, Florida State. Now, I know Florida State injured the quarterback, but how does Georgia and Oregon not get in the playoff? And then Michigan gets lucky. The only reason Michigan won because Georgia and Oregon, they didn't have to play. If they would have played Georgia or Oregon in game 1 instead of Alabama, they got to play Georgia, they'd have lost 20-0. They wouldn't have been able to run the ball, and they would never have been able to stop Brock Bowers. So that's kind of misleading there. Going to be a beautiful season with a lot of money to be won. I know the pressure is going to do some damage. I got it all figured out now, so look out. Just because we know the variables, we're looking at the hot defense, the hot quarterback. We know the coaches, so it's just the whole thing is understanding the defense. We can't bet Prime because they don't have a fucking defense. And so when they got up against Oregon, they lost 42-6 to Oregon. Where are you, Prime? What the fuck are you? How do you lose 42-6 to Oregon? Because they blitzed them every time. And then I guess Deion's never seen a blitz before in the NFL. Like, Jesus Christ, you're kidding me. By the way, what are your thoughts on Georgia and Clemson? Yeah, Georgia wins 20-0, something like that. I think Georgia, Clemson's got the quarterback's not very good. I don't know how strong the defense is. Georgia fired the defensive coordinator for losing to Alabama, right? Look for Georgia to come back. And, they had Munchausen, who was the Texas defensive coordinator everybody thought was so good. Yeah, they fired him. They brought in somebody else. Look for Georgia to be back to a 10-point defense. So I don't think Clemson can score. I think Georgia's pissed off. I mean, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, and Utah are pissed off, right? That's your focus. I mean, just pound those, I love it. Oh, okay, so Ohio State is 50 to Akron. Akron's a Z team. You've got Georgia 13.5, 48 to Clemson. We don't have Oregon week 1, and we don't have Utah week 1. They're playing high school teams week 1. A good team that we're going to watch is Houston. They got the coach who was really good at Tulane, Willie Fritz. He was great at Georgia Southern. He goes to Tulane. He gets them in the playoff, or they should have been in the playoff. And now he's at Houston. So keep an eye on Houston. A very live dog this year, especially in that conference. And he will get them better very quickly. Although I don't love his quarterback, but he'll have a strong defense. He'll have a competitive team. He's a great coach, so we follow the coach around. Ella fucking Bama, great offense. You love DeBoer. Not crazy about his defense. All the defense left. They either went pro or they transferred. So he's stuck with none of Saban's guys. They all left. They all took the money. And so defensively, he struggled with Washington. I think they'll be okay. But offensively, now I'm not crazy about Milrose. He's no Penix, but I think they'll put up 40 a game with DeBoer. He's a great offensive mind. Do I think Dabo upsets Georgia? I don't think he scores. So no, not at all. Yeah, I see Prime is facing North Dakota State week 1. Yeah, they're like laying 8. I'm like, there's no way I'm taking him. He still won't have a defense. And Prime Jr. would rather get sacked than throw interceptions. Did you hear that one? So he throws 3 interceptions and he takes 52 sacks because Prime said, well, don't throw interceptions, take the sack, because then we can blame the line. But if you throw 20 interceptions, then you look bad. So let's not look bad. We don't care if we win. Just take the sack instead of throwing the interception. Like, where did they get this coach from? Well, Muschamp been bouncing around all over the place. Yeah, he's not that good. The team I really don't like is Troy, the offensive coordinator of Notre Dame, who fucked up my Sam Hartman, is now the Troy head coach. And I'm like, they're not going to do – they're going to be really bad this year. He had Hartman and that Eskane, the running back. And where was he? He couldn't – against Ohio State, he didn't show up, and there was a couple other games. The only reason they beat SC is because our Caleb boy threw 3 picks and a fumble, which led to 4 touchdowns. So I can't believe Hartman didn't get drafted. And then he goes to Washington. Well, fuck, they got Daniels. They don't need Hartman. And then I watched Minnesota and the Giants with Daniel Jones going against Darnell, and I'm going, why didn't either of these teams take Hartman? I don't understand. Do they not watch college fucking football? Hartman is better than both those guys by a mile. Why didn't you you didn't even need to draft him, pick him up as a free agent. And I keep bitching about the Lions with Hooker. Why the fuck aren't you playing Hooker? Hooker is much better than Goff. And by the way, Hooker beat Alabama 50-49. But let's forget that he beat fucking Bama 50-49. What are you, insane? I mean, nobody puts up 50 points on that. Georgia didn't put up 50 points in Alabama. So what are you doing? You have this guy who puts up 50 points in Alabama, but you don't want to play him because you got Jared Goff, who chokes in every big game. He choked in the playoffs. He just happened to get lucky against the Rams. And didn't show up in the second half. Didn't show up in the second half against Tampa. So they come out firing, and then he starts turning the ball over. And let's not forget the Niner game where 24-7, then you're down 34-24. Where was he the second half? He didn't show up. In the championship game, and you got the coach going for it on 4th down twice against the Niners. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I actually like Washington in a teaser versus Tampa week 1 with my boy Jaden Dan. Well, I'm not I love Jaden Dan. He'll do great. I think Bo Nix is number 1, Penix is number 1A, and Dan. Those 3 will be star in the NFL. Not Caleb, and not for sure not J.J. McCarthy or Drake May or Spencer Rattler. They draft Spencer Rattler. Hartman will do very good. Let's get him there, right? Let's let Hartman play. The Giant. You don't think Hartman's better than Daniel Jones or Minnesota? He's better than J.J. McCarthy. What are they doing drafting May and McCarthy in round 1? And here Atlanta goes and gets Cousins because they think, well, we need a quarterback. And then Penix falls in their lap, and they draft Penix because they know he's 10 times better. I mean, if you watch Washington, Oregon in both the games, why wouldn't Penix be the first pick? Are you not watching those games? And then what he did to Texas in the playoff game? You fucking kidding me? You got Penix, and he's dropping balls right on Romaduzzi, right over his head, right into his chest from 40 yards away. I don't want that guy. I'm going to take Drake May because he did so much for North Carolina. Or J.J. McCarthy, he handed the ball off a lot for Michigan. Couldn't do shit, but he handed the ball off. Let's see, Bobby, where you at? Yeah, I actually like Washington and the T. Oh, okay. Where did Bo Nixon? He's on Denver. He'll be their starter. And they got the Notre Dame running back, Austin, as the running back. Now we'll just see the defense and the receivers. But with Sean Payton, and he's got Drew Brees number 2 here and a good running back with Peyton's mind on offense and Bo Nix running around. He had 45 touchdowns and 3 picks last year and only 11 sacks, and he ran. They should have been in the playoff, but their coach fucked up. It was 4th and 2 at the 50 with about a minute left in the game, and Oregon's up 4 points. The fucking idiot goes for it, and of course doesn't make it. 2 plays, Penix, boom, boom, touchdown. They win the game. If they just fucking punted, it's Oregon in the playoff and not Washington. But no, he's got to go and go for it. I don't understand these coaches. They think it's automatic. It just blows my mind. Punt the fucking ball to the 5-yard line and let them go 95 yards in 45 seconds. Yeah, good luck. Unbelievable. But he's on Denver. Look for that. Yeah, I saw J.J. McCarthy is the starter for Minnesota. Is he the starter? I thought Darnold, but if he's the starter, we're betting heavily unders on the Minnesota game. They got a good defense. How many throws do you think he's going to throw to Jefferson? What? Poor Jefferson's going to get – his stats are going to get killed with McCarthy. The Vikings are going to be a complete joke, I feel. Well, that's my point. Hopefully he goes to Cincinnati. Then we can have Burrow chasing Jefferson again and watch him put up 60 points a game like they're at LSU. I swear I went back to some LSU games for that season. Now, when you're watching back then, you don't understand chasing Jefferson like you do now. And they'd be like, Jefferson's in motion. Here's Chase in the slot. Oh, touchdown. Oh, here's another touchdown. Jefferson's turn. Chase's turn. Unbelievable. I mean, it's insane. And then Moss's son was the tight end. Chocolatey Claire was the running back. You're like, what a fucking team. No wonder he did that. But he had receivers. I mean, he had the best 2 receivers coming around in 20 years and the best quarterback. No wonder LSU won. Unbelievable. What a great team that was. Knicks won the starting. Well, I don't know. Who else does Denver have? So I would assume he did. But I haven't heard the official. It's me saying it's Knicks. I'd rather see Penix start for Atlanta than Cousins. I don't know that J.J. McCarthy won the starting job. I don't think it's even there yet. We'll see exhibition. Darnold sucks, but McCarthy's worse. I do think Brissett's got the starting job over Drake May in New England. Daniels should get the starting job at Washington. God knows they need help. Darnold, oh man, the Vikings are a fade team also. Well, they're an under team. No quarterback and a great defense. Perfect. Bobby was on Mars. He took that space shuttle from Tesla, and he went to Mars. He wanted to see what it's all about up there. So he is back, but well missed, and we're happy he's back. I actually have to go in a few minutes. I have a 5 o'clock Teams. I have an interview tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I will tell you how that went. And so I don't have to really, it's just a recruiter, but I got to be on Teams at 5. Yeah, he's asking me if I'm watching the Olympics. I don't know what that has to do with football or gold, but what the hell. Well, we're glad to have you, Bobby, as always. So like I said, for the picks, you'll have to sign up on Teaserking. I'll show you. So there's gold, 24.42, silver 28.50, but gold's 24.42. So it's going to 3,000. So let me show you what you got to do for the picks class, Bobby Bo. So here's Teaserking, yours truly, and then go to the tab that says Purchase Picks, and then here's the purchase page. And then down at the bottom is College Picks YouTube class, 25 a week, Pro Picks YouTube class, 25 a week. So you'll go there, and then we'll do the picks on YouTube for $25. or you can just go and do the normal, buy the pro picks, college picks, or both, 75 a week or 100 for both. So you can do that. So it's nice savings, but too much conflict where people are buying and I'm giving the picks on that. So it's going to be at $25, which is minimal class for college and one for pro. I believe Jenna is going to finally come here. Beginning to worry. I keep inviting her, and she's in Berlin now. So I believe she's coming here soon. I'll introduce Daria. She's still waiting, and we're supposed to meet soon. The mother is actually in Russia. She needs the mother to watch the daughter, and we can go. And I can't get that now. And we will see that. Sorry. And so I don't know. I'm not holding my breath with Daria. Seems like she keeps having excuses. I don't really know what's going on, but again, it's this 5-6 day bullshit and I'm getting real tired of it. So I'm like, look, stop playing games. Like, there's no reason you can't text me. You don't have to wait 6 days. That's not going to happen. Well, let's go silver. How's everything else, Professor, with the job? So the job, I have an interview tomorrow with DTE Energy, finance job. I had 4 interviews for this one, if you heard on the other ones, and I didn't get the job. Nobody told me. So I emailed the VP and said, well, did I get the job? And they're not saying. And then the other position's still open. Harley, I got applied again as a contract, and now I just got applied again to Harley. They have another position open. I'm waiting on the trust from my mother, which should be some decent money. They were pretty well off. They sold their house. The guy was a plumbing contractor, sold his company, and they should have 2 life insurances that both are dead. So there should be a big chunk of change divided by 8 people, which I don't know whether there's 3. He had 3 kids. My mom had 3 kids. I have a brother and sister. That's 6. Where are you getting 8? So they're dividing the pie by 8. So hopefully it'll be a big pie. And so that's it. Like I said, I sent Jenna to Berlin to see Natasha, her friend from the Ukraine. And then Daria she gets high blood pressure. She breaks her phone. I don't get her for 5 days. And then I see she's on and I go, oh, she's on. Hi, Daria, how are you? And nothing, but and then she'll say, well, I didn't have my phone or I couldn't contact you. It's just excuse after excuse. So I don't know. I'll just say, look, I love you. When you're ready to meet, let me know. And in the meantime, I'll be with Jenna here, and I'm tired of the wait, but a lot of it's my fault because I said, "Don't worry, I'll wait for you," and I love you unconditionally. So I'm digging my own hole because she's seeing that, going, "Oh, okay, he loves me, he's waiting," and that's probably what's happening. Silver is going to be a struggle because of the price fixing by JP Morgan. It's still being price fixed, not like gold. So keep in mind, everybody's getting out of the dollar, right? Because they know it's collapsed. It's worthless. Everybody's out of the dollar and they're buying gold by the tons, but they're not buying silver by the tons, the central banks. So that's the problem. So silver will go up because Saudi Arabia now and India are building the solar panels and the electric car batteries. They need silver for the solar panels. So, and the Tomahawk missiles need 500 ounces of silver. So the need for the silver is there. So they want to keep the price down so they can build all this. But there's not any silver left. It's just about gone. Good luck on the interview, Professor. What time is class on weekdays? Today I went to the Social Security and went to oh, by the way, Bobby, let me tell you Social Security. So apparently you can only make so much if you're still working. So in other words, I made like 40 grand at Harley last year, and then I got like 30 grand for Social Security. And I owe them 10 grand because I wasn't supposed to make more than 30 grand last year. I thought I just would pay tax on it. No, it's not just tax. So I get a letter for 10 grand. You owe us 10 grand. I'm like, how the fuck do I owe you 10 grand? It's my Social Security. You're supposed to pay it out. They said, well, no, we're only going to pay out up to what you make. And if you make 40, we're only supposed to pay out like 20. So I owe them 10 grand. So I went today to Social Security and they basically said, don't worry about it. We'll just take 10% out of your Social Security. So I get 2470. I'll just lose 247 a pay until I get to 10 grand, which will be in 10 years, and they won't even have Social Security. And that's fine, but it's bullshit because I had to pay extra tax on my tax return, and now I owe 10 grand. I was just sick the other day, but now, well, if I just have to pay 10%, and I get back to work and I get the trust and the gold goes up and I get more money on football, I'm perfectly fine with it. So I thought I was going to have to come up with 10 grand. He says, no, you don't have to pay. They want you to pay it, but we'll just take 10% out starting in November. Will I still get the payments so I can pay rent? They go, yeah. I go, okay, fine. So keep that in mind, Bobby. With Social Security, the age keeps changing. So as you get up there, it's not 62 to retire. It's not 65 to retire. It's now 66. Like you said, in 2026, then you can make as much, but it changes every year. So as they go broke, they'll end up where you won't be able to pull your Social Security is what they're trying to get to because they're broke. So they fuck up, and then we got to pay the penalty for it. And with all the inflation, we're fucked. Good luck on here. Thank you, Bobby Bo. So during the week, it's been about 2 or 3 o'clock. Weekends are 11 o'clock, especially the football will definitely be 11. The classes will be Wednesday night, will be an hour on football because of the Thursday night game, and this year Friday night from Brazil. And then Sunday morning, I'll go through the picks. I might do it Friday also. College will be probably Friday and then Saturday morning. There's a Thursday games. I'll do that with the pros on Wednesday, but there'll only be a game or two. You're going to the coin store this week to buy more medals. It depends how I do on the job. Once I know I got the job, then yes. I did buy 11 ounces of silver last week at $32 an ounce. But I've been buying more and more gold. So yes. Luke lost the shot, load in gold and silver miners today. Goodness. It is Bobby. I apologize, Luke, but I have to take a team's call at 5 and it's 4:58. Maybe why don't I come back after that and we can have a reunion. But yeah, Bobby is back. He went to Mars to see it. Tesla and Musk gave him a tour of it, and he's back. But yes, Bobby is here. Good to see everybody. I'll be back probably in a half hour. I got to do this 5 o'clock thing. All right. I apologize, but I got to do a Teams. All right.